him this stuff. And let's talk about the schools for a minute, because he's talking about the crushing weight of debt, and this is the thing that I sympathize with. Kids are getting out of school with a lot of debt, or even worse, as far as I'm concerned, their parents have to pay a lot. They work the entire life of the child. You work and you scrimp and you save and you put this away, and then it all goes away to a place that has an incredible endowment and a lot of money, and yet you have to give it to them. You know, Cheryl Atkinson is a great reporter, and she has a show now that's a kind of an internet show, but it's also on some TV stations throughout the country. It's called Full Measure. And Cheryl Atkinson is the reporter who was an investigative reporter and investigated stuff against George W. Bush, and they ran it on CBS, and then started to investigate stuff against about Barack Obama, and they wouldn't run it. And so she had to leave, and she has started this thing, Full Measure, which is, as I say, you can get it on some TV stations locally, or you can get it online. So she did a thing where she talked to kids about debt. And here's just some of these kids talking to Cheryl Atkinson on Full Measure about the fact that they're in debt. This is cut 2.
I think it's really sad that our country wants to charge like 18, 19, 20-year-olds $250,000 to be educated, better, good quality citizens. I think that's ridiculous.
Do you know how much debt you're going to have when you graduate?
Yeah, my guess is somewhere around $30,000 or $40,000.
Are you concerned about paying it back?
Yes, I'm very concerned. You know, got to get a good job out of school, which is hard these days with the market the way it is.
So just really, like I said, I have sympathy for this. Remember, these are NYU students. NYU is the place where Chelsea Clinton was being accosted like that. These are NYU students, and they're talking about society educating them. They're talking about society educating them to be good citizens, and it costs too much. Society is not educating them. NYU is educating them. And NYU is a capitalist organization that teaches them socialism. And not only is it a capitalist organization, it's a crony capitalist organization, which is unfair. Okay, so Cheryl Atkinson interviewed this professor at NYU, Mark Crispin Miller, who's become an activist against the unfair way that kids are charged, and how they have hidden fees. After they take your first payment, they come back with all these hidden fees. And he's talking to her about this, and she asks him what causes it all.
There are $10,000 to $20,000 worth of hidden fees at NYU, amounts of money that the students didn't realize they were going to have to come up with. This has happened time and time again, students telling us they just sent me a bill for $2,000, etc. If you factor in the considerable hidden fees that NYU ends up charging, I think it is unquestionably the most expensive school in the country. Administrative bloat is what's costing all these kids so much money, costing their families so much money. I mean, it's really Gilded Age stuff, and it has no place in any decent university.
So what he's talking about with his administrative bloat, he's talking, first of all, the salaries, the high salaries they pay to administrators. And also, over the years, instead of hiring professors, instead of doing things that would enhance the actual learning experience, NYU has bought real estate in New York, some of it very luxurious real estate in New York. They hire these administrators who do things like diversity administrators, the dean of diversity, they're hiring people who are useless. I mean, that's a useless person. That's a person who has no worthwhile job, a diversity person. And that's what you're paying for. And you're paying for this incredible real estate they use to make their school look attractive to rich people, instead of hiring professors and making sure that these kids are getting the kind of education that they should get. And so instead, you've got this mess. And, on top of this, they're getting tax breaks because they're nonprofits, right? They're getting tax breaks while they're making fantastic profits with this incredible endowment, and they're paying all that out to these administrative people who have no real jobs. While they're doing all that, they're getting tax breaks, and then they're teaching this girl who yelled at Chelsea Clinton about how to be socialist, okay? So this is a massive, unfair capitalist organization teaching these kids about to be socialists and to blame people. And no wonder they're angry. No wonder they're like that. I mean, on this report, which is a kind of incredible report, as I say, you can find it by Googling Cheryl Atkinson and Full Measure. But in this report, she says that some of the women are now going out to these online services that basically turn them into prostitutes. They call that, what did they have one? They called it a sugar baby university. This was specially keyed, the advertisement. We have an ad, she had an ad in there, but I think we can play it, that basically was keyed specifically to university students. Do we have that ad?
You can gain the personal connections you need to go from entry level to corner office. Enroll with Sugar Baby University today and get your education paid for by a generous sponsor.
So the pictures, if you're not watching, if you're listening, the picture is this incredible sex pot with a low-cut sweater who looks like she's never been in a school in her life, looking at a computer and then wearing glasses because now she's smarter, and she's smarter because she traded sex for money. And she interviews a girl whose voice is disguised and who's in the shadows. She interviews a girl about this. Here's that interview.
Let's be clear. A lot of the men do get into this because they want sex.
Yeah, they do. But that doesn't mean you have to have sex with them. Just like if you meet someone off that site and you met him in person, that doesn't mean you have to have sex with them if you choose not to.
So what did you ask for and what were you able to get?
It was a time where I needed like $300 for the textbooks for class, and I honestly didn't know how I was gonna pay for them. Like, I didn't really want to ask my parents. So he paid for all the textbooks. Like, he was like, listen, I'm gonna give you money so that you can take care of that because it's important.
Now, Cheryl calls this shocking, and in one way it's shocking, in one way it's not. I mean, obviously it's the oldest profession, so it's been going on for a long time. Women have been trading their bodies for cash for a long time. But it's shocking to have someone of this class and of this status in society. A student is a certain status in society. It's shocking to have someone like that do it. But